So, thank you so much for agreeing to chat to me today. I really appreciate this. You are like the youngest guy to ever be in property, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. So, if you don't mind, could you just like introduce yourself so that everybody knows exactly who you are?
Yeah. So my name's Kabir. I'm 16. A lot of people know me because I'm like the 16-year-old in property. I started when I was 15, and yeah, I'm just in the property space. And yeah, I guess that's in a nutshell who I am.
Excellent. So, at 15, what is it that got you interested in property?
Um, I don't know. I didn't like school. I didn't want to continue with school. I thought it was just boring and just I don't know, it was just dull and just wasn't my thing. I wanted to get into like business because then at least I would have freedom and I can do what I want, and I feel like it's more creative because you can legit create any business you want. Um, and then the way I got into property, my brother one day walked into my room and he was fresh off a property course, like a free property course, and he said to me, "Yo, there's something called rent to rent." Um, and he tried to explain it to me. I was like, what are you on about? But then I did my own. I started doing my own research, like on YouTube. I just searched up rent to rent, and I just started watching a bunch of videos, and that's how I got into property.
That's cool. So if you had to put out there what was the best rent to rent video that you watched and you were like, now it makes sense to me.
Um, I'd say it's someone called TJ Atkinson on YouTube. I watched his because I was interested in serviced accommodation.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, his videos he like breaks it down and it's very simple because the idea of rent to rent is a very simple idea anyway. So it's not something that's over complicated. But yeah, I'd say his videos are useful.
So you say it's not complicated, but a lot of people they'll worry about things. And I think an advantage of being young is that maybe you don't worry about it too much. You just like, I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So do you want to explain for people watching kind of what your model is that you work with and how you set it up?
Yeah, so I'm in the rent to SA um, industry. So there's different rent to rent strategies like HMO and all that, but I'm in SA. Basically, what that is that I take on usually apartments and I rent them out on a short-term basis, usually night by night, and I charge a nightly fee. It's basically like you put it on Airbnb, Booking.com, and you deal with guests, and that's the model. And then the amount you make per month is subtracted from your rent and bills, and then that's where you keep. And yeah, that's what I'm in that industry.
Cool. And where is your essays? How many essays do you have?
Right now I have one. I took it on 2 months ago. Picked up the keys. It's in Canary Wharf, London.
Nice, excellent. I'm from around there. I'm from Newham. Where are you from?
Kilburn.
From Kilburn. Okay. Are you in Kilburn now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And so you decided you wanted to do that. Um. So what were your first steps apart from watching all the free videos? Did you pay for any training, or you just went off all the free stuff?
No, I think one thing about being young is you get offered a lot of free stuff that's usually paid.
Yeah.
So um, I basically got mentored for free because of my age, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thing, I guess, because of course it makes sense because imagine trying to charge a 15-year-old like 3 grand or something. It's not really kind
It's
of
not
feel bad.
ethical.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. So, but yeah, I got mentored for free. And yeah, that's how I kind of got more knowledge about SA and then progressed further.
Perfect. And when you went to look at the possible places that you could rent to use as your SA, I mean, when you turned up and they realised you were like 16, um, how did that go down?
None of my agents know I'm 16.
Is that why you
Uh,
grew the beard?
yeah, it's kind of like lucky I have a beard, so they don't know. They probably think I'm like 30 or something. But yeah, no, I don't. I kind of try to hide my age from them. I don't really tell them. Um, yeah,
But don't
That's
they
how I do.
run, like, obviously when they're going to rent to you, then don't they
Yeah.
run checks on you? In which case they're going to need
Um.
to know your age and your
So
date of birth.
everything, everything like contracts, company, bank, it's all under my dad's name. So they
Oh.
don't really do anything on me personally. It's all under my dad's name. Um. So yeah, they don't really find out my age.
That's cool. So your family are quite supportive of what you're doing then?
Kind of.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Have your family got anything to do with property already?
No, they
No.
don't. They don't. No, they're not in property.
So how did you convince your dad to put his name down on a rent? Did you guarantee the rent for like a few years as well?
Yeah.
How
Um.
many years?
At the start it's 12 months, and then it gets extended,
Oh,
depending if both parties are happy.
cool. So how did you convince your dad to sign up for that?
He's already in business. He already owns a business. So I guess he's already in the business space. So he wasn't really like reluctant to be like, oh no no. So because he owns a business, so he's kind of used to like
Risk.
kind of, yeah, risk. He's not someone who's like, oh no, I'm not taking any risk and blah blah. So it wasn't that hard. I was just like, can I put my company under your name, and can you sign these contracts when I bring them to you? Like, yeah, sure.
You are so lucky. Not many people have parents that would be signing
Yeah,
away
I know, I know.
a rent like that. um, so profit wise, I don't know if you want to share numbers. You don't have to if you don't want to. Do you want to, or would you rather keep that private?
I'll keep it private for now.
That's okay, no problem. But have you managed to be in profit since that you've taken it on 2 months ago?
Uh, it's been a bit hard with tier four and lockdown and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, but I feel like even though we just went into tier four, things are picking up in terms of like inquiries and all of that. Because when you're brand new, you don't really have anything behind you. You don't have any reviews. You don't. You're basically starting from scratch, so it's harder to get bookings. Whilst if I already had like 5 units and a bunch of reviews, and I onboarded another property, it would be easier because I would understand how OTAs work. I would understand, I already have a bunch of reviews that I can like show off. But when you're brand new, you have zero reviews. You don't really understand like how Airbnb and Booking.com works and some setup. Um, so you kind of do everything from scratch, especially during a lockdown period. That's like makes it more harder. But yeah, at the start it was more difficult because there was like no inquiries and stuff. But you have to build it from like scratch and everything.
Mm. And do you have like a minimum stay? Because I know sometimes people don't work on a one night because that's not worth it for
Yeah,
the turnaround.
I
So what?
do minimum 2 night stay, and that's to like was usually one thing about you don't want parties at your SA and all that kind of stuff, and usually they book for one night. So if they let's say they search up Canary Wharf, they want to have a party, they would most likely search up in the filter one night, but my minimum is 2 nights, so my apartment wouldn't even come up, and that's to like, and plus one night's not even worth it. That's like, it's not. I don't think one night's are worth it because then it's like 2 nights. I don't know. I just like 2 nights and more better because there's more money to be made. One nights are just. I feel like there's a waste because the guest comes, stays for one night, then you have to change the entire like linen and all this and that, and it's like, is it really worth it? Plus, it could be a party booking.
Yeah.
I'd rather just stick it as a 2 night minimum.
And with the cleaning, you mentioned the linen. Do you kind of do that bit yourself, or do you hire a company to come in?
I do it myself right now.
Okay, that's
Because
good.
I only have 1 unit, so I was like, might as well do it myself.
Yeah, but when you scale, I'm guessing
Yeah,
you would outsource. Is
yeah.
there anything that you outsource, or it's just you and your dad?
Um, no, not really. It's just, I guess it's just me just managing it by myself right now.
Cool, excellent, nice one. So, what are your big ambitions moving forward? What are you working towards?
Um, my idea is 2021 is just scale up like a lot, and I'm also looking to get into there's another thing called SA management where you manage other SA operators units. So let's say someone in Canary Wharf, they have a unit but they don't want to run around Canary Wharf trying to manage their units. They go to a management company,
Mm.
um, So that I'm looking in 2021, trying to put that as a part of my business. So I have SA management as well. But right now is mainly just taking on my own units so I can get more experience, and because you can't do SA, you can't manage other people's units when you don't really have experience in running your own units.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but right now it's just, yeah, 2021 is just scaling up in terms of getting more units.
And when you're, because obviously if you had like a buy to let, your management fee might be, I don't know, 10 to 12%. And if you've got a HMO, it could be up to, I don't know, 15, maybe
Yeah,
even up to 20%, depending on the management company. How much do people pay percentage wise for an SA manager?
I think it's around 10 to 15%. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen online, with other managers or whatever.
Okay.
Um, but the thing is about me is when I'm looking to get to SA management, I'm looking to charge way less, because I feel like the thing about me is that I don't need to put food on the table. I don't have my own bills to pay, so to speak. So I can charge less. It doesn't really. It's not like I'm reliant on this business for me to live. So like, well, I can be cheeky and charge less. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so you can outcharge the competition,
Yeah, by a lot.
living at home.
Yeah.
So have you started college yet, or are you in year 11?
I just left year 11.
You just left year 11. Okay, cool. But you haven't gone to college because you don't need to.
No. Yeah.
Because property is your full-time life now.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
must be actually, because doing SA, and if you're going in there every 2 days to change the sheets, that is quite full on.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much
It is.
how much time does that actually take out of your day to travel to Canary Wharf, do the sheets, and then travel home again?
Um, Traveling there is like 40 minutes by train ish. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It depends on like the day.
Mhm.
Um, Walking there is just like 3 minutes from the train station. Changing it, I don't know, it'll be like 10 to 15 minutes plus a bit more time for cleaning the apartment, like hoovering and changing, like putting new shampoo and all that in. But yeah, like it'll take a few hours because again, I can't drive or anything like that.
Mm.
So like, I have to take train. Um, but yeah, it takes like a few hours a day.
Okay, cool. So about 2.5 hours a day at
Yeah.
3 hours a day at the moment. Okay, cool. And what about in terms of, obviously you're still learning and you're still looking for more essays. So how much time each day do you think you put into the finding the next investment opportunity?
Um, to be honest, with you, not that much because I've built relationships with some estate agencies, so it's not like I have to go and Rightmove and Zoopla and start looking at properties. They just WhatsApp message me like, "Yo, Cad, I got this essay. Are you interested?" Um, like I think like 2 weeks ago, I viewed a essay unit in the same building as my first one.
Yeah.
Um, that was brought from an agent, but right now I'm just kind of standing still because of tier 4 and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm not someone who. I feel like it's kind of like a waste of time of me just sitting down and writing with a Zoopla trying to go through properties and trying to inquire, whilst I could just build a relationship with this agency and they just bring me deals. I don't have to really go out and find them.
Yeah, that's good. And obviously, did you get this first one through an estate agent?
Yeah,
Yeah, so as long as you follow through with what you promised, then they'll trust
yeah,
you to do the next one,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
fantastic. So did they know that you were 15, the estate agent, or not?
No,
No.
none of the estate agents know my age.
Okay.
The way I think about it is, as long as I as long as my dad signs everything, I don't sign anything. Plus, I keep my end of the bargain. Like I pay rent on time and all this. It doesn't feel like it doesn't really matter about age, as long as you actually fulfilling what you said you're gonna do.
Yeah. Cool. So you want to carry on with this SA business, and is that like the long term goal, or do you hope to save money to build a portfolio of your own in the future?
Um, yeah, I'm thinking SA. Because some people they just want 20 units and that's the max, or they only want like 10 units. I'm aiming in like the highs. I want a lot of SA units for like long term. But of course, I want to branch out into other things like I want to do buy to SA as well.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But
Especially in
yeah,
Canary Wharf, because if you bought a property in Canary Wharf, you would make a lot of capital growth
yeah,
on that. Yeah.
that's London. But yeah, I'm looking to stay in SA for a while. It's not like I'm just gonna take on 5 units and that's to stop, and then when I move on, I'm looking to stay in this for a while.
Cool. What's your kind of criteria? Like I'm guessing you viewed lots of properties before you picked the one that you've got. What kind of criteria do you go and look for before you're like, yep, I want that one?
First of all would be location. There has to be like some sort of train station nearby. At least 10 minutes, like max, nearby the apartment or wherever property is. Because again, people like close transport links. So it can't really be too out. Another thing I would look for, it would be if it's furnished or not, because again, Canary Wharf is, or London in general, is expensive taking on any part, because the deposit is like £2,500 for a deposit. That's a loan. So like, if it's not furnished, then that's an entire other like expense. I would not take an apartment because it's not furnished. Maybe I can like strike a deal with the landlord saying that, can you furnish this apartment? But usually I wouldn't really go for non-furnished apartments. Third thing would be quality. So if the apartments or the buildings or the property is really run down and like it needs a lot of work doing, then I wouldn't really take it on. I like apartments that are like a good quality or high quality standard. And yeah, apart from that, it's just location, quality, and if it's furnished or not. It's my main concern. And transport links, close by transport links.
Can I ask, obviously you decided to go with SA rather than like rent to HMO. And obviously there's more money to be made in SA, but
Yeah.
I assume it's more risk. That's why you can make more money. Would
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, I feel like it's way more risk than HMO because SA is always, especially with lockdown, it showed that like the thing with HMO is that when you get a tenant, they're there. So it's not like if you get a tenant for 6 months, they're in that room. You don't really have to worry except from like maybe issues with other tenants and all that. With SA is like you have to get working towards getting bookings. Because there's no one guest who stays there for like an entire year or 6 months. They can be long-term bookings, but again, those can still like get cut off. Like some people, they may have a guest in their apartment for like 3 months, but then tier 4 may come into play. Then they would have to like leave early. So it's not really safe. It's more risk. But then again, I feel like high reward, and I like it more because I feel like it's more fun in a way. I feel like compared to like a HMO or something like that.
It's definitely more hands-on, isn't it? Because like you said, because you've got to go there every couple of days. Make sure your investment's still there, safe.
Yeah.
That's cool. I just want to quickly go back to you spoke about school. So you said that like, school was boring, you weren't really interested. Was it just like a normal mainstream school that you were at?
Yeah, it was a normal like public school. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a normal high school.
And are you the sort of kid that like got in trouble a lot because you found it boring, or you were fine, you just didn't like it?
No, I was so the way I was like, well, I didn't really cause trouble because I was like, what's the point? Then they're just gonna give me like an hour detention after school, but then like
You've got to stay longer, right?
yeah, gotta stay longer. Not saying I didn't cause trouble. I did cause trouble when I got bored. But I wasn't the type of kid in class to like shout at the teacher or that. I just kept quiet because I wasn't like, what's the point of shouting at the teacher? It doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, because I know that we've messaged each other a few times before. So like, I want to start a property school for kids to basically teach them more about financial education. Do you feel like that's something that is needed?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because everyone in my school, most kids, they don't know about finance in general. They don't know about mortgage, taxes, interest, investing. They don't know anything about that. Because again, they're not taught it, and most kids, they don't go out their way to learn about it. Um, so yeah, I think that needs to be taught in schools.
Cool. And how did you learn about it? Was it just from hearing about the rent to rent and then further online training, or did somebody else already talk to you about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was just me. I looked into rent to rent, and then I guess that opened an entire door, and I just started learning different things.
Excellent. Fantastic. I'm a bit worried because I was going to post this video, but nobody knows. These people you work with don't know that you're 15. Are you worried about me posting it, or is it okay?
No, everyone on the social media side knows that I'm 16. Like,
Yeah,
I accidentally built my brand as the 16-year-old.
yeah,
Um,
did.
yeah, but it's, I guess it's the agents. But the funny thing about that is that when I started working with my agents at first, I would search up the entire name on Facebook and I would block like everyone who has the same name, and then I would go to the agency and I block them online because I don't want an agent accidentally finding me online. Um, so, but yeah, I'm not really worried about that because I feel like, yeah, I'm not really worried about that.
That's good. I wouldn't want to like ruin
Yeah,
your whole thing, so that's good
yeah.
that you're not worried about it. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Is there
Thank you for
anything
that.
like as a last message like that you want to put out there to tell people, or do you need something from people? What is it that you want to say?
Um, I don't know. I'll say if you're a teenager or even like adult watching this, I'll just say go for it. I think a mistake that a lot of people make is they overthink, like teenagers overthink and saying, "Oh, how am I gonna sign contracts? How am I gonna do this? Or if this agency finds out my age or blah blah." Then they talk themselves out of it, and then they say, "Okay, I'll start when I'm 18." For me, when I started out, I didn't really think. I just did. Um, I just took action, and then that leads you to actually doing deals and stuff like that. So I'd say don't overthink, just start. Um, and yeah, that's my message.
Cool. Thank you so much again. I appreciate it very much. I hope you have a good day. You can go back to
All
bed
right.
now. All right then. Cool. All right. Thank you so much. See you later.
Thanks, Shona. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.